Every day in the USA, people find themselves in court.
Jesse Greenwell.
Yeah.
Okay, this is State of Kansas versus Jesse Taylor Greenwell. It's case number 2024 CR1. Mr. Greenwell appears apparently unrepresented at the Butler County Detention Center's Zoom location. Amber Norris appears for the state of Kansas. First appearance notes indicate that the defendant represented he was going to hire his own attorney, apparently. Anyway, just notes that the court did
I
not.
need excuse me, Your Honor. Um, I need a court appointed attorney. I haven't been able to contact anybody, and I don't have any means of any money. I can't get a hold of my family. I can't get a hold of nobody. I've been talking to Chris Pate with Pate and Paul on the phone, and he said he would take my case up if you guys would appoint him.
I generally don't allow people to choose their appointed lawyer, Mr. Greenwell. However, under your circumstances, I'm inclined to make an appointment of a lawyer. James Watts is our contract public defender, and I will appoint him. So at this juncture, James Watts is appointed. Mr. Watts has had no opportunity to look at the case or confer with you. I'm inclined to reset this to another date to allow that to happen.
I'd also ask for a bond reduction. They sent my
Okay,
bond.
okay, we'll cross that bridge in a moment. I'm going to reset this to our next docket, which I think is in March, Mandy.
March 11th, Judge.
Yeah, I concur. That appears to be the next date we have available. So I'll reset Greenwell to Monday, March 11th at 2:30 p.m. Again by Zoom. March 11, 2:30. Essentially the same docket that Mr. Greenwell is appearing on today. All right, so we've got the case reset to March 11, but you wanted to address the court about something else, Mr. Greenwell?
I wanted to know if I get a bond reduction because they set my bond at $50,000 and all I had was some paraphernalia. I don't understand why my bond is so high.
Well, that's not what the state thinks, Mr. Greenwell. You've been charged with possession of 2 controlled substances as well as paraphernalia and a couple of traffic offenses as well. You're facing a possession of methamphetamine felony here.
Yeah, well, all I had was some paraphernalia. He field tested some broken pieces of glass that were in some case or something like that. And he said because of what the pieces, he said because of what they tested, he's going to charge me in possession when I never had anything. All they had was some pieces of glass in a pot pipe. I never
We're
had.
not going to resolve your guilt or innocence today or even determine if there's probable cause. That's what the preliminary hearing is for. But Ms. Norris, I am curious. His bond is somewhat higher than many similarly situated defendants. Why a $50,000 bond in this case?
Your Honor, I was not present at time of first appearance, but I would note for the court that he has pending a possession of meth case 23 CR 147, which he was out on bond.
Which is the same thing, pieces of glass. I mean, paraphernalia. That's all it was. I never had no methamphetamine.
Okay.
Your Honor,
So
and
the fact that he had another pending drug-related case was a factor in bond being set where it was?
yes, Your Honor, and also he has significant criminal history. He has previous convictions for criminal threat, a lot of other misdemeanor things. And in the 23 CR 147, he has previously had a failure to appear. So all of those things combined, I'm sure contributed to the request for a significant bond. And I'm not sure exactly Mr. Greenwell lives in the Augusta area, and I'm not sure whether or not he actually has a residence or if he's homeless. He has been both over the last few years. So, but he does generally live in Augusta.
Where would you reside if you were to make bond? Mr. Greenwell?
Augusta, Your Honor.
Okay, but what address? Is that with Lucas Johnson?
Yes.
And you're not, that's not the address that is on the previously posted bonds in the 23 CR 147. Those actually list him as homeless.
All right.
And I'd be remiss in not bringing this to the court's attention, but Lucas Johnson is a convicted felon, and I think he's even on supervision for a felony at this time. So I don't think it's.
I think the last address that I used was, that'd be Kathy address. I'd be willing to live there. I mean, but I mean, I'd rather be in town. I mean,
All right, court will reset bond in this case at $20,000, cash or professional surety required. The GPS monitoring, no drugs and alcohol. Restrictions that were part of the bond requirements before remain. I'm also going to require the defendant to maintain a residence in Butler County, Kansas. And I'm going to restrict his location to Butler County, Kansas if he makes this bond.
is there any way I can talk to my attorney today?
I need to conduct further business, not as part of this meeting. I do have James Watts on the meeting. Mr. Watts, what direction would you give? I know that you just were appointed just a few minutes ago, but.
Your Honor, I have a jail meeting scheduled tomorrow, Wednesday afternoon. I can add Mr. Greenwell to that jail meeting list.
All right.
Also,
Anyway, your office, Ms. Norris, might be able to expedite discovery materials being sent to Mr. Watts. That would be, I think, of great assistance to defense counsel. I would appreciate those efforts. So at this time, I believe we've conducted all the business that we can regarding Mr. Greenwell. I think we're done, Mr. Greenwell.
all right. Well, the pending, the other pending case, when are we going to take that up? I mean,
I don't know. I don't think that's in my court.
Your Honor, that's with Judge Hart. It's set for a preliminary hearing February 7th.
Very well. That answers your question, Mr. Greenwell. I think that's all the business we can conduct with you at this time.
I was wanting to know if I could just take them both up, or if I could just if I could run both of them cases together.
All right, Jesse, we got to get going. The court's finished.
Right.
I'm finished with Mr. Greenwell at this time.
Judge, can I just confirm, that was 20,000 or 25,000? And did you?
20,000.
And then you added GPS?
No, that was already a requirement from the docket notes.
Oh, right,
Never had no
yeah.
GPS from the previous.
But he has to remain in Butler County, and
There wasn't no GPS on my bond.
It would help if you don't talk over us, Mr. Greenwell.
All right.
Yeah.